Welcome to Gifted Underachievers, the podcast for mid-level creatives with delusional ambitions. In this segment, Pat and James dig deep into data related to the macroeconomics of being a creative and unearth compelling insights on median income and creatives.
Hey, James.
Yes, Pat.
So you sent me some statistics.
Yes, as I am wont to do every now and again.
And they're about the arts economy in the United States of America, as we call it, up here
Sorry,
in Canada.
it's U.S.-centric.
Don't be sorry. I mean, it's great to have statistics. We can talk about them because I find them very interesting. Although, I just want to quote, was it Disraeli, who said, there's lies, there's damned lies, and there's statistics.
Brilliant. I've got that tattooed on my chest.
Sexy.
Oh yeah.
Woo! What font?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Lift that up. Boy, I'll tell you.
They're running.
Yeah, everybody's
away.
running. For a thesaurus.
Fuck. Okay, so just to say, 2023, according to the NEA, which for anybody who isn't American stands for the National what?
Endowment for the Arts.
National. So, Americans never say the American Endowment for the Arts because they assume national means everybody understands it to mean the U. Okay, now don't get me started.
I know
I'm getting weird.
We can have that segment discussion, and I will buckle in for an hour
of ranting, Canadian ranting.
Yeah, Pat's Canadian uprising.
Nobody wants to listen to that. Okay, but the arts and cultural sector in 2023 in the United States reached an all-time high 1.2 trillion in value to the US economy. And in that year between 2022 and 2023, the arts economic value surged by more than twice the rate of the total economy. Mm-hmm. And in inflation-adjusted dollars over a 25-year period, the real value added by arts and culture has doubled.
Yep.
That sounds like good news to me.
It does sound like good news.
1.2 trillion? I mean, what is that split among all the artists and cultural workers?
I know. Where's my check?
Where's my? Well, okay, this is U.S.
Yeah, well, you should get one too. I mean, you're producing part of that value. You're working with American creatives.
Yeah, shut up. I don't want the U.S. government to come after me. I'm the only one who can do what I do.
Never mind. Yeah, we're
we'll have to cut that part. Yeah. Anyway.
No cuts.
So this is great. It must mean that all artists are making a shitload of money.
It must. That's the only thing I can take from it, which makes me again wonder, where's my check?
Yeah. Actually, you did send more data. You sent another graph. So according to, again, the NEA, the median annual earnings of all artists in 2023 was $70,000. That's $70,000.
Which, so if you break into the list, there's some domains in there that I think are probably artificially pushing that up higher, because they do include architects and producers and designers.
They're still,
but nonetheless, it feels, and again, this is median, so they're not averaging. I feel okay about that, I think.
Okay. For fuck's sake. Okay, I'm trying to figure out if, let's say, every single person in the US, what's your population? About 400 million?
350 million.
350 million? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say half of them are working full-time employed artists. No, what do you figure? Not half.
Yeah.
What, 10%?
Maybe. Yeah.
So 35 million?
Yeah, I don't know. That would seem large to me. But yeah,
Yeah,
let's go with 10% for
I'm
for
just I'm just spitballing here. Times 70,000 a year each. That's too many zeros. I can't figure it out. I don't know how many zeros a trillion has. But I was gonna say it doesn't add up to the amount of money that's being made in that sector
right to the value that we're adding. No.
to the economy. Yeah.
And I think there's definitely an argument to be made, generally speaking, and I think this is true in the US, true in Canada, true pretty much in most places, where the amount of value that is added by the people who are, you could say labor versus capital, right? So the people who work for a living, who earn a paycheck, like you,
Hmm.
me, and people in a factory and all that kind of stuff, don't get paid in any way that's equivalent to the value that we generate,
Yeah, you're right.
right?
Yeah.
So I would say, just to point that out, that we're all kind of getting screwed a little bit or a lot.
Well, because
Um,
somebody has to own and run the factory and make the trade agreements and all that stuff. There's a huge infrastructure.
right,
Yeah.
right. But when you think about the value that we're adding to the economy, that's a huge number, and it feels like there's a bit of a disparity there. And you can also incorporate into that disparity that these numbers are previous or before Trump eliminated basically all federal spending for the arts in the US.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what the effect of that is. So there's one in, can you say are people making enough money, right? And I think, an income of 70,000 a year is not super huge, but it's not small
Yeah,
either,
depending on where you
right?
live. Yeah.
And it depends on where you live and those kinds of things. Um, so I think, one of the things we had a good conversation before we started this because we really were trying to sort of figure this out beyond just our own curiosity, like what is this telling us?
Hmm.
And I think one thing is we need to have, a much deeper, more granular sense of the data.
Hmm.
Right. And that's kind of the problem with a lot of data that you see about arts, I think in particular, or creatives, and when it comes to income and that kind of thing is we don't have the granularity of understanding to really parse it in a
Hmm.
way that can give it, true meaning, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for me, I get meaning from this because I can compare what I generally make compared to what the median is and say, am I doing better or worse?
Yeah. Is
It
this,
depends
I
on the
don't even know
year.
if this is gross income or net income, but there you have it. So I understand. Yes, we have a reason for looking into this. It's partly because we comment in a way on the arts and cultural sphere
Mhm.
with this podcast. And it's also because we like to take a benchmark and say, well, are we earning what and this is full-time artists, including writers, designers, actors, musicians, entertainers, whatever they are. Hello, Jimmy
Yeah,
Kimmel,
whatever the heck.
Conan O'Brien, and then they've got non-artist cultural workers, and the median
Uh,
income for them, uh, median earnings, I should say, was 56K a year.
yeah, which is low, and that's like people who process photo or photographic process workers, which they're the highest. And that's interesting to me because I'm wondering what's being processed. I mean, it's not like people have film anymore, but
Oh, well, maybe, yeah, good point. But librarians are in there, models and
yeah,
demonstrators. I mean, why are jewelers not in there artists?
yeah,
They are
yeah, they're
artists.
creating.
They should be under there. So yeah, anyway, we're looking at this because we think it's kind of cool. We think it's kind of weird that there's this huge disparity between what the arts generates in terms of the addition to the GDP, the gross domestic what
Product.
product of the US, and what people actually earn, and according to the NEA. And what else? What else do we think is interesting?
Yeah, well, how we stack up. Is there a disparity between the value we bring and the value we get out of it,
Hmm.
is for one. And then I would say there's the third chart.
Yeah.
And this to me is really interesting. And this is more from a curiosity factor, maybe, as opposed to, is this substantively going to help me understand how to make more money or anything like that? But wage distribution for independent artists, writers, and performers. And again, it's a bar graph and it compares these creatives against the national average. And the first bar is huge. It's 20% of all of these creatives make $10,000 or less
Per year
uh,
in the
per
US
year,
in 2024.
right? In
Yeah,
2024, which is more than double the national average,
right.
right? And then as you go along and increase in income, those bars get lower and lower and lower and lower until you get to 190,000 to 200,000 per year, and it's teeny, teeny, tiny.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think
barely a percentage.
we should clarify that this chart will be in the show notes, but what we mean by national average is what jobby job people do earn.
Right, right,
Okay.
right. And then all of a sudden the final set of of the graph is 200,000 plus.
That's the earnings
And
we're talking about. $200,000 a year plus.
and that jumps up to it's more than 5% of all of these creatives, artists, writers, and performers.
Yeah. So, and we were looking at this going, that's weird because it's average salary, so it could be that the Katy Perry's and these oh that who's that gorgeous
Well,
girl?
this is percentage of these creatives though.
Serena
There's
Carpenter.
so there's significantly more creatives making 200,000 plus as compared to 190,000
Yeah.
to 200,000
Yeah,
plus.
but it still strikes me as kind of weird. I don't
Yeah.
get it. And then you know what? Maybe I don't like this graph because it's dumb. And I just I don't like the way it's laid out. To me, it doesn't track. Anyway, I'm gonna bitch about the graph, but forget it. Let's keep going.
No, well, that's what I mean. It doesn't really track. Like, how could there, so 95 about percent of creatives earn less than 200,000 a year, which makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah.
But why or actually I would have expected and they're not quintiles. Not remembering the proper terminology here, but the percentage of people earning, for example, when you get to where do you get to where it's 5%? You have to go down to people that are earning between 60 and $70,000 a year as creatives
Uh-huh.
before you approach equaling the number of people that are earning more than 200,000,
Yeah.
which
Okay.
seems
Sorry.
crazy making.
But yeah, this got to be flawed. I mean, and my eyes are glazing over, and I can see the damn graph. Imagine trying to listen to this.
I know. I
We're
know.
gonna reel it in.
So what's the point? I think the point is that, one, as somebody who spends a lot of time working, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about the larger macroeconomic ecosystem within which I operate, right? And
Yes,
it's
me
the
neither.
fish who's swimming in water and not realizing that you're surrounded by water.
Yeah.
And so, feeling, getting a little bit more of an understanding of, what do we as an industry bring to, financially speaking, and what are the averages or the medians out there for people who are doing what I'm doing and other creatives, are creatives making enough money to sustain themselves and to justify the value that we're bringing.
Yeah, I don't think there can be a yes or no answer because it depends on the person. However, I think it's very illuminating to see, at least in the US, the huge growth in the creative
Yeah.
industry, what it brings to the economy, doubled in 25 years, adjusted for
Mhm.
inflation, like that's wild to
Mhm.
me. And
Yeah.
maybe it's related to tech. Okay, there's a
Yeah.
television in every home, there's a computer in every pocket or purse because of those little fucking smartphones.
Yeah.
Uh, So people are consuming at an unbelievable rate, and we can buy apps and we can do all of this stuff that allows us to consume entertainment pretty much all of our waking hours if we're not working. So there's going to be that kind of background stuff. But I also think that it makes sense to not undervalue your work, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. No, yeah.
yeah. And there's a difference between being so delusional that you think you can plunk out the, you know, um, Mary Had a Little Lamb and sell out Carnegie Hall. That's not going to happen. You still got to earn your stripes and stuff, but it's weird. You mentioned before we started taping this one that maybe we should have a union for all of the creative industries.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Workers. And, wouldn't it be great to have benefits?
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, a union for just creatives, period.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would sort of say who's a creative and who isn't kind of thing.
Well,
That
yeah,
might
that's the
be
problem.
challenging, but yes, absolutely. So we can claw back a little bit. Why, if you go through a traditional publisher, you can anticipate that you're going to make about $1 per book.
Yeah.
Why can't that be $2?
Yeah. Right?
All these kinds of things,
Yeah,
right?
because even the publishing sector apparently brought in 125 million dollars in
That might,
2023.
yeah. Well, that might even be more than that. It might be
Oh,
1.5 billion.
125,000. What? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. I think it's
$125,475 million dollars.
yep, 125 billion, 407.
Okay, why didn't they just say that?
I
But
don't know.
okay.
I don't know. So obviously we're going to need to post these charts so that people can follow along as
Or
they
not, If
or
you got
not.
this far, we
Yeah.
salute you.
This may be the one segment that does a big boner, but
Hey, we're throwing spaghetti at
but
the wall all
I
good
think I
stuff.
think the last point though is, and you brought this up, is do not undervalue the impact positive that tech has had. As much as it drives us all crazy, it
Yeah.
facilitates not only the ability to do a lot of things in a lot of places, but the ability to earn more money than maybe we otherwise could.
Yeah,
So
and not to forget to mention that a lot of the shit on tech is is produced at the cost of the artist and is absolutely free to consume. So that I'm
yeah,
not saying that's
yeah,
a good thing.
yeah. It is absolutely more than a double-edged sword.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, to be sure. But yeah. So and when I think about like when you're gonna fix something,
yeah.
you really got to understand the different pieces and components and parts, and
Hmm.
so that you don't break the things that work. And there's a lot of tech I would like to see fixed, but what I don't want to see broken is our ability to do a lot of work in a lot of different places and have it
Yeah,
be easily facilitated.
that's true.
So,
Hey, guess what?
what?
I have a stabbing pain behind my eye now that we've talked about statistics.
Oh, okay. You're maybe having an ophthalmological migraine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, good to know.
So,
Thanks.
yeah, a little ibuprofen and you're all set.
Okay. Cheerio then.
Adios. Thanks for listening to Gifted Underachievers, the podcast for mid-level creatives with delusional ambitions. We'd love to hear how we're doing, so please leave a comment, join our chat page, or send us an email at giftedunderachievers@substack.com. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you like to download your podcasts. As always, please hit the share and or subscribe button, and also tell your friends. We'd love to have them over. Thanks, and have an awesome day.